You already know what to do. That is the uncomfortable part. You have known for a while now. And yet, here you are. Still watching. Still listening, still waiting for something to change on its own. Most people who hear this will nod. They will feel something shift inside them, a quiet fire, a sense of clarity. They will think, this is it. This is the one that finally moves me. And then, somewhere between this moment and tomorrow morning, that feeling will dissolve, quietly, without drama, and life will continue exactly as it was before. That is not a judgment, that is a pattern. And patterns, once you see them clearly, cannot be unseen. Here is the truth that most people are not comfortable sitting with. Information is not rare. Advice is not rare. Wisdom is not rare. You can find the answer to almost any question about self-improvement, discipline, habits, success, and personal transformation in less than 10 minutes of searching. It is all out there, freely available, endlessly repeated. And yet, the majority of people who consume it remain exactly the same. Month after month, year after year. So the problem is not knowledge. The problem has never been knowledge. The problem is the gap, the quiet, yawning space that exists between understanding something and actually doing it. That gap is where most people live their entire lives, comfortable with the idea of change, uncomfortable with the reality of it. Think about how many times you have heard good advice and felt genuinely moved by it. Think about how many books you have started, or finished, or highlighted, or recommended to someone else. Think about how many videos you have watched, how many podcasts you have absorbed. How many conversations you have had where you said, I really need to do this. I am going to start. I am ready. And then ask yourself honestly, what changed? Not what you intended to change. Not what you told yourself you would change. What actually, measurably, verifiably changed in your daily behavior after that moment of clarity? For most people, the honest answer is very little. And the reason for this is not laziness, not stupidity, not a lack of potential. The reason is something far more subtle. It is that consuming information feels like progress. It mimics the sensation of growth without requiring the discomfort of it. You finish a book and feel productive. You watch a motivational video and feel capable. You listen to someone talk about discipline and feel temporarily disciplined. But the feeling is not the thing. The feeling is a shadow of the thing. And shadows do not build anything. There is a particular kind of trap that intelligent, self-aware people fall into more often than anyone else. It is the trap of perpetual preparation. Always learning, always planning, always refining the strategy, always waiting for the right time, the right energy, the right version of themselves to show up before they begin. And the right time never comes, because the right time was never coming. It does not exist. It has never existed. The people who change are not the ones who find the perfect moment. They are the ones who start inside an imperfect one. Here is what real change actually looks like. And I want you to pay close attention here, because it is far less dramatic than most people expect. It looks like waking up and doing the same small necessary thing you did yesterday, and the day before that, and the week before that. It looks like doing the work when you are tired, not inspired, not energized. Not feeling it, just doing it because the doing is the point. It looks like choosing discomfort on purpose, repeatedly, until discomfort no longer controls your decisions. It looks like ignoring the noise of everything that feels urgent and returning, again and again, to what actually matters. That is it. That is the whole secret. There is no hidden technique. There is no code to unlock. Consistency, when applied over time, is the most powerful force available to any human being, and it is also, somehow, the most avoided. Because consistency is boring. It does not feel like a breakthrough. It does not make for a compelling story. You cannot post a highlight reel of someone showing up quietly, doing the work, going home, sleeping, and doing it again. But that is precisely what transformation looks like from the inside. It is slow, it is mundane, and it is profoundly effective. Now consider two people. They are not fictional. You have met versions of both of them. You may have been both of them at different points in your life. The first person is always in the process of getting ready. They read the right things. They follow the right voices. They understand, intellectually, exactly what they need to do. They talk about their goals with genuine passion. They start things with genuine enthusiasm. But somewhere in the middle, where the novelty fades and the real work begins, they stop. Not dramatically, quietly. They slow down, they get distracted, they tell themselves they will pick it up again when they feel more focused. And the cycle repeats. 6 months from now, they are in the same place. 1 year from now, the same. 5 years from now, they are still the person who almost changed. The second person is not more talented. They are not more motivated. They do not have better circumstances or a clearer path. What they have is a different relationship with action. When they decide something matters, they do it. Imperfectly. Without waiting for certainty. They start before they feel ready, because they understand that readiness is not a starting point. It is a destination you reach by moving. They are not always disciplined in the way people romanticize discipline. They struggle, they have bad days, they fall short of their own standards. But they keep returning. And that returning, that consistent return to the thing that matters, is what separates them from everyone else. Over months, over years, these two people become unrecognizable from one another, not because of some dramatic moment, but because of the accumulation of small daily decisions made in the quiet moments when no one was watching. This is what people do not want to hear. Self-control is not a character trait that some people have and others do not. It is a skill. It is practiced. It is built. And like any skill, it deteriorates when you stop using it and strengthens when you exercise it deliberately. The person who never keeps a small promise to themselves finds it increasingly difficult to keep a large one. The person who trains themselves to do the necessary thing, even when they do not want to, builds a kind of internal credibility. A trust with themselves. And that trust compounds. Most people are not held back by external circumstances. They are held back by a version of themselves they have not yet had the courage to interrupt. And here is the part that requires the most honesty. The version of yourself that resists change is not your enemy. It is familiar. It is comfortable. It has kept you safe in a way that safety is often confused with stability. But safety and growth do not live in the same place. You cannot reach a version of yourself you have never been while behaving the way you have always behaved. Something has to change first. And that something is behavior, not motivation. Behavior. Not the feeling of being ready, the decision to move anyway. Execution is not a concept, it is a daily practice. And the people who execute are not the ones who found a better method. They are the ones who stopped looking for a better method and started doing the imperfect one in front of them. They shipped when it was not ready. They showed up when they did not want to. They stayed consistent when the results were not visible yet. And the results came. Not because of talent, not because of luck, because of repetition applied with patience. This is not a message about hustle. This is not about grinding yourself into the ground or treating rest as weakness. This is about something quieter and in many ways more demanding. It is about choosing deliberately to become someone who does what they say they will do. Someone whose actions and words occupy the same space. That kind of person is rarer than almost any other kind, and they are built slowly through 1,000 small decisions that most people never see. You have arrived at the end of this, and something is about to happen that has happened before. The message will sit with you for a while. You will think about it. You may even share it. And then, For the vast majority of people listening, life will continue exactly as before. Not because they are incapable, but because the gap between hearing a truth and living by it is wider than it appears. And crossing that gap requires something that no amount of listening can substitute for. It requires a decision, followed by an action, followed by another, and another, quietly, consistently, without applause. You now have a choice. The same choice you have had before. If you are honest with yourself, you can close this and carry on as before, slightly moved, temporarily uncomfortable, and ultimately unchanged. That is the path most people take. It is not dramatic. It is simply what happens when feeling replaces doing. Or you can decide that this time, the decision sticks. Not because of what you felt while listening, but because of what you do in the next 24 hours. And the day after that. And the day after that. Small, boring, necessary, real. Only 1% of people who hear something like this will actually apply it. Not because they are 1% more talented, but because they made the decision to be someone who applies things. And then they kept making it. The question is not whether you are capable, you are. The question is whether you are willing to close the gap between knowing and doing, between starting and continuing, between who you are right now and who you have been planning to become. That gap closes one action at a time. So let this be the one that counts. Comment, I execute.